What's up, everybody? Chris Flick here, Chris Flick Podcast, episode number 171. Today we're going to be talking about active communities and how we could create active communities, and we could do that locally, right? If we could take care of our own little world, whether it's in our house, if we become more active in our house, then that's going to extend to a larger area, right? And then that local community is going to extend to a larger community, and so on and so forth. It's going to be a way that we could promote and create a physically active, environment that anybody could thrive in, right? So when we look at the communities that are active, they smoke less, they have 10% lower obesity rates, they have 18% lower rates of high blood pressure, 3% lower rates of heart disease, higher than average air quality, higher property values, decreased unemployment, higher graduation rates, right? Those are all wonderful things, right? And in order for us to all do that, we just have to get up and get out and start moving. That's it. If we do this and we do this for the long term, our community is going to get better, it's going to improve, and it's going to thrive. Now, one way that we could implement some of these strategies for the long term is to just be healthy, active adults, right? If we're a parent, a coach, or a teacher, right? If we have the ability to be a role model, we need to model that behavior. What we prioritize, the kids that we work with are going to prioritize. If we prioritize fast food and cigarettes and alcohol, there's a good chance they might follow that path, right? But if we promote healthy living, right, if we show them that we're on this path and we're trying to be healthy, and when we're being healthy, we're working optimally, right, then good things are going to happen, and they're going to want to emulate that as they get through life. So if we look at the kids, right, healthy, active parents pave the way for healthy, active children. Physically active children, 1/10 less likely to be obese. They have higher test scores, less likely, in adolescence now, less likely to smoke, use drugs, get pregnant, or have risky sex. They're 15% more likely to go to college, right? They have lower levels of depression. Now, as we get into adulthood, higher self-esteem, 7 to 8% higher annual earnings, lower health care costs, more productive at worst, reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, all of these things, right? So it starts with the home, right? It starts with that one person. If you could be an adult, a coach, a parent, a teacher, a role model, whatever you are, if you could pave the way, if you could create the path, kids will follow that path, right? And if you could encourage them on that path, leading by example, not by force, all right? Lead by example. Show them the way and then get out of the way. Let them follow you, right? Good things are going to happen in the community. And it starts local, and then it grows, right? It continues to grow, and hopefully we can get a movement started here that kind of expands throughout the state, throughout the East Coast, throughout the nation, right? Healthy living is going to better our environments. So, when we start talking about physical activity, right, it starts to get devalued in the schools. If the schools aren't prioritized, like I was saying earlier about what you prioritize, your kids will prioritize, right? If the schools aren't finding time for this, if they're not prioritizing this stuff, then the kids just aren't going to find value in it. And this is a problem. I remember reading a book called Spark a long time ago, and in it they talked about this school, I think it's in Naperville, Illinois, that some of their kids were struggling with math and science, just with some of their test scores, right? So they introduced physical education, Block 0, I think is what they called it. So first thing in the morning, they got the kids in that were struggling, they did a little bit of physical activity, and those test scores automatically self-corrected. If you look at a brain scan of somebody that has been sitting idle, and a child we're looking at now, their brain scan sitting idle versus what their brain looks like after a 20-minute walk. After that 20-minute walk, their brain is lit up, and it's lit up, and it's ready to learn, and it's ready to absorb anything that gets thrown their way, whether it's a new skill, whether it's a new lesson in the classroom, anything, right? And, I was reading this study. It tracked kids from kindergarten through 4th grade. Physical activity is associated with improved academic achievement, including grades and standardized test scores. All these public schools care about standardized test scores. Get their kids moving, man, and the scores are going to go up, right? You don't sit there and memorize all this nonsense. Get them active, get them learning, engage them in a fun way, and I think you're going to get positive test scores, all right? That's my pitch on that thing, right? It's not about, you're not devaluating, building strong minds, right? Strong minds and strong bodies work together, right? We know this. We should know this, right? But it's like our systems are not understanding that. And we're not prioritizing physical activity in the schools, and that's a problem. When we look at the 2022 U.S. report card on physical activity, we have to keep something in mind here. I'm going to give you some grades, right? But these grades that I give, they're not like grades that we got in school. In order for you to get an A, 80%. B grades, 60 to 79%. Keep this in mind as I give you the grades here. 40 to 59% were C's, a D grade 20 to 39%, an F is less than 20%. So when we look at things, physical activity, 2022 we're looking at now. This is current. D minus, all right? Active transportation, this is the percentage of youth who use active transportation to get to and from places. D minus, all right? Now we have to remember what a D is, right? A D is 20 to 39%. A C is 40 to 59%. Where do we get C's? Organized sport participation. Percentage of youth who participate in activities, sleep, physical fitness, right? So what do we have there? 40 to 59% of kids get the recommended physical fitness every day. Community and built environment. Percentage of communities with infrastructure geared towards physical activity, youth living in safe neighborhoods, near parks, facilities, etc., right? Only 40 to 59% of kids have that. If we start looking for B grades in this report, they just don't exist. There is no B, all right? So what do we got here? What else didn't we cover? Sedentary behaviors are a D. Percentage of youth engaging in 2 hours or less of screen time per day. 20 to 39%. School. Percentage of schools with daily PE, physical activity, recess, everyone plays approach. Regular facility access for physical activity and equipment, D minus. That's around 20%. 1 out of every 5 schools have adequate amount. What we prioritize, what you prioritize, the kids are going to prioritize. We got to flip the script now, and how are we going to do that? If you're a parent, if you could walk, right? You know, if you are totally sedentary and you got no ability to do anything, let's just start with a daily walk, man. 10 minutes, get out, get moving. See if your kid wants to join, and if they don't, fine. You keep doing it, you stay on the path, and you will stay on that path and encourage your children to get a little bit more active. They're going to see you, and I hope that they're going to model your behavior. If you could run, what could you do? You could play tag with your kids, soccer, basketball, ultimate frisbee, play a little tennis, you know, all of that stuff. You could go for a little morning walk/jog with your kid. Take the dog out. Have a little bit of fun with this thing, right? Tennis sounds fun to me. Ultimate frisbee sounds fun to me. Playing tag sounds fun to me. If you get some young kids, those would be some great ways to engage them in physical activity that I hope that they will find enjoyment in, that they will want to replicate and do again in the future. If you could balance, what could you do? We're talking yoga. We're talking things like Zumba. We're talking about gymnastics. We're talking about bicycles, snowboarding, skiing, anything like that, okay? Walking, hiking, you know, climbing, all right? Those are some of those things that you could do if you are a little bit more inclined to the balance side of things, right? If you could swim, obviously we got the obvious ones, man. We have, up here right now where I am, man, it's freaking cold, so surfing's kind of out. But, you know, you got surfing as an option. Snorkeling is pretty cool and fun, right? We did this down in Florida over the summer. Loved it. Swimming. Join a swim club. Do something like that, right? These are all things. These are all ways that you can encourage it. If all you could do was walk, then walk. If you could run, play some tag, ultimate frisbee, fun games, right? If you could balance, go to a yoga class together. See if they like it. If they don't like it, you know, try a gymnastic class. If they don't like gymnastics, try some rock climbing. If they don't like that, try hiking, all right? You know, these are the things that help find balance, both physically and mentally, right? Getting out in nature is important. I didn't clarify that when I meant balance there. Balancing on one leg and also just balance in terms of getting out in nature. Swimming, obvious ones, right? Anything in the water. Marco Polo, swimming, swimming underwater. Water polo. I don't even know any other water games right now, but that's what we're talking about, right? Move it indoors. If you live in a nice, wonderful area that's got great weather all year round, do some water activities, all right? Get out there and do a little snorkeling too, man. Go see some wildlife, all right? So this is what we got. When parents and kids could work out together, there's huge benefits, right? Number one, physical health, obviously, right? The physical health is going to improve. But you know what else does? The mental health, right? The fun that they have, the enjoyment in life, the teamwork, the self-confidence, it's all going to grow. And I think as a parent, you're supposed to foster that stuff in your child. If you're a teacher, you're supposed to foster that in your students. If you're a coach, you're supposed to bring that stuff out of every athlete that you work with, right? If you're a role model, walk the walk, do it yourself, and let those kids follow you, man. Hope you guys have a great day. Chris Rook Podcast is here. Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Apple, it's out there, it's everywhere. YouTube, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. Let's boost this thing up here. Let's get this in front of more people. Let's get a more active community, and let's just love life, man. Peace, everybody.